Hey everybody, it's me. I am back showing off some new stuff. I know it's been a while, I've recorded things, but I've been busy. That's why I haven't been recording. As you can tell, I've been really busy. Between finishing up the stuff from the Kickstarter, doing a bunch of millimeter stuff, which you guys will get to see eventually, but it's taking time. And kind of what you see on the table here. This is going to be the newest set. Decided to do something a little kind of bridging that gap between fantasy and sci-fi. A lot of my friends have been getting into War Machine again, and that world kind of has a neat up to it. Well, the problem we've been running into is that we don't have any terrain for it. So I decided to up it a little. Now, all the sets are part of a new fantasy city that I'm doing. The idea behind it that's why writing is so that we get out of models a little go to it some are peaked if there are staircases these are also there's a little more texture to them, a little more design, and it is that you can build an entire city. One thing that is different to do is these are shell style buildings, meaning ones that try and full buildings that have for. So we'll go through a few of these. And an aesthetic and idea. Move some of the figures out of the way and some small like it. This is a great building. But I repeat a few other there. This shelf is completely empty on the side. If you wanted to, you could actually by adding a floor to it. Your basic storage build. Or taller with balconies and other small details to kind of dress it up and give you a little bit more. This building is going to be one of the buildings that has the option of doing an interior, and it'll come with a floor, so you're able to remove the roof and move things around on the end. But I tried to do something with it to give it as much character as possible. So it's a 2-layer for the actual wood, as opposed to being a single, so you've got a little bit more relief. It's just a really nice design, a few more options, and things that you won't see in most. Move that one out of the way. We will follow up with, again, another house. This one is a little bit plainer. We got that same staircase, plenty of height, so that if I can find a model, see where the model. There we go. Grab this is one of the models out of Wild West X, so it's actually a bit taller even. But there's plenty of space for models to fit underneath, all based on the standard 3-inch level height. So we'll mix and match other buildings as well as even GW buildings that also use that height. It's pretty much becoming a standard for most of us to do a 3-inch floor height, doing about a 2.5. 3 tends to work out a little bit better, but that's a whole other deal. So So you've got this one is going to be one of the frame buildings, although I did design it with a roof so that if you really wanted to, you could potentially add in a top floor. You wouldn't want to do this as multiple floors just because it becomes very difficult to move them, but having a single interior floor would be kind of neat. I added a balcony. Balconies are big enough for 40 millimeter bases, and that's pretty common on most of mine, that you can actually put a larger model inside any of the balconies or protrusion. So that's going to be that building. Pretty neat design. Can't wait to see some of these. I've already been handing out buildings for some paint, so I'm dying to see what they do with them. We have the Watchtower building. This one is, well, let's put it mildly. The base section is 9 inches. So this is a foot tall building. So it's definitely going to give you a very nice view of what's going on. So one of those buildings that I'd love to put at the middle of the table someplace, but then have nothing around it. So yeah, you can get there. If you get there, you're dangerous, but getting there is not going to be easy. This one is again one of the buildings that has a rear. So this one does have an actual floor on the inside. Another balcony so that if you wanted to, models can at the top easily. And it's a kind of a fairly standard, fairly unique design. And I like how the brick pattern on it. This would be a great one for someone if they want to finish it out to hide the corners, to do the brick corners like I did on this one. Would be kind of neat to add to something like this. So that way it allows you to customize it and tune it in a little bit more. A wonderful piece to finish up. So we've done kind of the tall and the short version. Move this out of the way. We have our church or meeting house, depending on how you use it. This is another one of the shell building, no interior. But because of the design of it, you could actually, once again, add an interior, just remove one of the side panels, and you have ability to actually move figures inside of. It gets a lot when you have multi-story buildings to do interiors on them. You have to add so much extra stuff to them to make it. And we found that out with the Wild West, that it really adds a lot to the build to have that, but at the same time, it's really a lot tougher to build the building. So they're not normally for the faint of heart when you start getting into those interior. As well, it really fit into wargaming as much as they do for playing at that point. These are primarily designed for wargaming with the ships. But this again is just your standard meeting house. It's going to give you kind of a neat setup, something different. Lastly, out of these ones that I have on the table anyway, is the astronomer's house. This one is something a little different. I wanted to keep the staircase motif in, so you can see I have a staircase, not one at the bottom. So there is no ground staircase for this one. Which way I turn it, there is a door at the bottom to come in, but there's no ground floor staircase. I just wanted something that elevated it, a different design. This one, I'd love to see someone finish this, a telescope type model or something up here. It will come outside and you have this balcony. It's just awful look. But they all tie together, they all follow the same look. Either by the railings or the roof design. Simple Tudor village. Line some of these up. Perks of having alarms. To go along with them though, I added in some extra pieces. So, for example, I did this water wheel. It does spin, actually, I mean, if you needed to. It does. The neat about it is you can add it to one of the other buildings. So say if we wanted to take the astronomers and turn it into something else, it would just be a matter of whack the two together. You created a totally different concept for this building. Went from being just a standalone house to being kind of the water wheel house. Depending on if people like them, I may even do a water trough piece that goes along with to make it easier for you to get into it. The additional thing I did about this one is I thought about if you're doing custom on it, you'll notice that there is a gap here. So that if you needed, you could actually lower the wheel or raise the wheel up just by these little pins. So you can raise the wheel down. So that way you can tie it into your, if you're doing a custom piece and you wanted to add water effects or something and have it by a river, it opens up a lot more options than what you see with a few other kits out there. Of course, town doesn't have, like some monuments. I did these little pieces. What this is, just a basic fountain. It's got a removable little horse on top. But this opens up a few additional options as well with it. Because this piece, you can customize however you want. So you could do it with the center stand, without the center stand, whatever model you want on top of it, and you got a nice fountain base. These would be really neat if you were to fill it and the water effects to make it look like there was water in the fountain. I think that would turn out really nice. Lastly, I did a town clock. This again is another one of those neat dressing piece. It's fairly large. You can see when it's up against some of the others, it's got a nice size to it. A model next to it. You'll see exactly how tall it is. It's about I want to say it's about a 6-inch tall piece. Nice stair step design. There's a little bit more detail on it, so you can fine tune it and do whatever you wanted with it. So I think something like this as a center on with whatever marker you were choosing, or even one of the markers that we include. There are about 30 different head piece type shapes that we offer, as well as custom ones. So if there was something that you were wanting us to do. The pieces all are designed to though some of our existing. So for example, this is our old cart. So they'll scale match up with it. Same thing if you went with our flatbed wagons. It all matches up in scale. They all fit. They're designed so that they will fit the models, as opposed to designed just to scale. So that's the first part of this. There is one more building and more extras kit, but for now, this should give you a nice starting point to see everything that we're offering. Stay tuned for the next video to see what else is coming. Alright, take it easy.